raising awareness through every track. All-Star PD Sportscast on the rise, shouting loud, reaching the skies. Can't stop, won't stop, our game is strong, fighting Parkinson's all day long. Tim's charm shines bright, Georgia's wisdom in every fight.
Welcome, sports fans and Parkinson's community and everybody out there. We need you all in this fight for a PD cure, but welcome to a new episode of All-Star PD Sportscast. I'm your host, Sharon son George, along with my brother really in this fight, Tim from MYPDPARTY. Please follow him on Instagram, Facebook, and all over the world. We're really trying hard to get this show out there, not for us, but for you and for really just a world discussion where we discuss world of sports and slowing the progression of Parkinson's disease, because it really does make a big impact. Today's show, we're going to concentrate. I wonder if you can kind of guess what the show is going to be. And I do want to thank Tim because he's incredible and made this beautiful background, and we're all geared up here. One last shout out to my friend Tim, made this beautiful shirt, which I actually I don't want to tell everyone too much, but I sleep in it. I love it if I could figure out how to get it. The wonders of Zoom, but it's a beautiful for the
Looking good, buddy.
Love it. So again, welcome, Tim. It's great to see you, and I do want to wish everyone out there, all you sports fans and the PD community, a beautiful holiday, because this is the final, unfortunately, show of the year. But we wanted to go out with a beautiful episode and touch on a sport that is really in the heart of so many fans in the world.
George, my brother, sports fans, what is shaking? I am so excited for today. I know we got conflicting hats on, but that's okay.
Yeah, that wasn't planned. And this is a Marlin shirt, but it looks like a
We're all over the map here. We're at Citi Field. We got Yankee hats on.
I love it.
I'm excited, man. Baseball is one of these sports that I grew up on. It's one of these people either love it or hate it type of things. I fall in that category. I absolutely love it. I'm passionate about it. I'm so excited for today's show.
I'm also excited to have you because there's so many important things in the world, and this kind of lets us take a little mental health break and also continue the fight to advocate for a Parkinson's cure through advocacy and awareness. And I know even when we're not here live, we're doing this 24/7. The show might go a minute or two over because I do want to take a quick thank you and shout out to Tim for all his incredible work and effort and a beautiful event he put on, which I followed the whole time. Someday I do hope to zoom in that he knows I try to torture him for it. But I want to share all his work too around the world for awareness. But maybe you could kind of just touch on the event you just had, because this was not just any event. I've been to events before. I've never seen an event where a gentleman, Tim, worked so hard, tireless, and was really like out there literally and filming 24/7. So maybe you could kind of talk about that.
I appreciate the kind words, brother. It was a labor of love. I mean, it was definitely an idea that I had. I mean, my three boys, two of them came up as very high level soccer players. They came up through the local ranks in Howell, New Jersey, where I'm from. So when I thought of a fundraising idea to align myself with the Michael J. Fox Foundation, I reached out for Howell United Soccer, and it was a no-brainer. I mean, I could not have asked for two better partners on this. And yeah, it was a 3-day extravaganza. I mean, we had rock concerts, we had skills competitions, we had food trucks, local vendors. I mean, we had the best soccer in the whole tri-state area. And it was such a great weekend. I mean, it was cold at times. You can check my live updates at the MyPD party. So a little windy at times, but it was a blessing. We did it all for a great cause and to bring awareness to this disease and put some money in the Michael J. Fox Foundation.
Well, congratulations. Obviously, we send a big love to the Michael J. Fox Foundation, Team Fox, and everybody out there involved, because really just changing the world. And we've said a lot of good things, and we only have good things about the foundation and Mr. Fox. And hopefully we can talk more about that in the future, of course. We have so much to talk to about. This show, again, is really basically on sports and progression. Tim is a PD warrior. I lost, unfortunately, my mother due to Parkinson, but I do want to jump right into the topic of conversation. And again, I hope we get to it all, but it's very important. Things we're working on behind the scenes, but really how important we need to share the importance of exercise. I did some research with Tim, found a lot out there. So obviously we can't share everyone, but in my PhD hat, I have my Yankees hat, but if I switch them for a minute, next time I'll bring my graduation cap. But there's a lot of literature out there and journal articles. The reason I point them out is it's, we really need the experts out there, and there are a lot of them talking finally about how you can show studies that will possibly slow the progression of Parkinson's who engage in physical activity. Today, we're going to concentrate again more on baseball, but I wanted to also ask Tim if he could share a little bit of his experiences with the sport and, maybe how it affects, as he played baseball and the progression of Parkinson's.
I certainly can, George. I mean, listen, when I was young growing up, I like to think I was a pretty good baseball player. I mean, definitely one of the top players in my city, in my area, which I grew up in, coming through the little league ranks and the pony league ranks. I played at the high school, and if I didn't blow my knee out pretty severely, I'd like to think I probably would have went on to college, and had a decent career there.
I
So
might not have been able to get you on the show. You would have been
no, I'm never too big to advocate for Parkinson's, that's for
Mhm.
sure. But I mean, listen, it's always had a special place in my heart. It's what I've loved. It was a sport I loved growing up. I mean, even now, we're talking about how this sport specifically can help with Parkinson's. I mean, the movement portion of it is huge. I mean, we talk about that. They say nothing that keeps flowing will ever stop. Nothing that's in constant movement will ever stop. Like water. We push movement. We talk about constantly being on the go and how important it is. One thing that I like to do, I would certainly ask you to anybody who wanted to try this to recommend talking to their doctor first. But I love to go back to the batting cages if I can, if I'm having a good day. It helps you with your balance, your hand-eye coordination. And especially if it's something you enjoy. I mean, it certainly gives you those feel-good endorphins for sure. But the one thing I'll say too is, aside from the physical aspect of it, and I keep harping on this every podcast we have, the cognitive aspect of this is very important. Um, Being able to, like somebody who enjoys baseball, I love watching a baseball game. I think it's the best sport out there. It's not timed, aside from the stupid pitch clock that they have now. But to me, it's like a great chess match. And on every pitch, 9 players on the field have to know what they have to do in like 20 different situations based off the pitch, based off where it's hit. I think baseball is the best chess game we've ever seen, and it keeps you thinking. It keeps you involved. It keeps your brain moving. So I think not only is it a great sport as far as movement, but it's a great sport just to sit and watch and enjoy. It's like a chess match that keeps you thinking for a couple hours, and it's definitely got a dear place in my heart for sure.
Yeah, growing up for me in New York from Brooklyn, I mean, obviously the history there. I always went to the baseball card shows, spent probably millions, not joking, wasted. They all turn yellow, the autographs, and they're gone.
I'll be there with you.
Yeah, we had every single passed away and living Hall of Fame baseball autographed by almost everyone. Not, of course, some of the old like Babe Ruth, but every living one at the time of DiMaggio, Mantle. They turned yellow and they were in the garbage. So, unfortunately, it's fun and exciting. I had the honor with my father when I was a child to go to Hall of Fame in Cooperstown and see Reggie Jackson
Wow.
inducted. And remember staying in a little someone's home was rented out. Like they turned them into little beautiful kind of overnight stays, like with the breakfast in bed. It's really cute. And I'll never forget that moment being able to be at the Hall of Fame because of all the plaques. And I didn't prepare. We had so many other things like the gear to wear. I forgot to bring some of my autographs and show them. Maybe one day we'll probably do a show on autograph collecting and sports because that would be fun.
We absolutely could.
Uh,
I'll tell you the truth. We should plan something like that, because I've probably been to a lot of the same shows you have.
yeah.
I'm huge into memorabilia, and you bring up a good point. Talking about cognitive and physical aspects of it, but even like I said, just the memories. I mean, I'm reaching out on my desk. I don't know if you can see this. This is a
Yeah.
picture of me and my 3 boys at City Field. I mean,
Mhm.
these are moments that you never forget. I mean, through all the good times, the bad times, the Parkinson's, these are good things. They make you feel good for sure. And baseball is all about memories. It's such a great sport.
And I had planned a while ago to bring one of my baseballs, but this is what we'll show for today. I forgot.
Playing big, I love it.
Yeah, the advocacy is more important than the actual props. Plus, half the time I show things here, you can't even see them with Zoom. But
We
uh,
do things on the fly here, my brother.
yeah, yeah. But I do want to now turn to a legend, somebody I had the honor to speak to his son, Cam, and shout out to Cam and the entire Kirk Gibson Foundation. They're an incredible organization. They are just now starting to build, which is pretty historic, a whole center for people with Parkinson's. And if you tune in, I don't think it's out yet, but at the Q&A for Sharon's son, George show, You can reach it at togetherforsharon.com. Just hit podcast. Everything's free. And you can see the interview. It was really nice he was a professional baseball player too for several years. And I'm hoping he'll join us here next year in 2025 on our show. But he talked all about his father and his experiences, where he was the first time he found out his father was diagnosed, but most important, how his father is such a fighter and never gives up. Starting this foundation, which again is the Kirk Gibson Foundation. You can go to kirkgibsonfoundation.org. You can sign up. You can look around, and I think this might be, no, that's not, the center is right here. It's going to be named after him, the Kirk Gibson Center. It's the first one, I think, in the world that's going to actually be built, and they even show you the plans. It's beautiful, and we went through the floor plans are right here. It's going to be a literal building of all dedicated for people with Parkinson's. And last thing I want to really express is for individuals like you, Tim, we fight day and night, and we always say hope for a cure because obviously that's the goal. But in my brain, sometimes it's sad. I do forget about, well, I don't really, but I kind of don't think about those still fighting today, which is not true. But in a weird way, I just want a damn cure. But you have to, all the things and people now waiting to the cure still have to have a place to go and call home. This is
Sure.
going to be one of the first ones, and you can see they're going to have exercise. They're going to have even a place for lecturers and probably professionals come in, and they're going to have a track, like a little running track, which I wish
Wow.
I was located there because
So cool.
like here you can see the walking track. You don't need to run, which I would like to just walk. But some of the things they're doing is so amazing, and he's been in the news, and we need individuals like Mr. Gibson. Obviously, we don't want anyone to go through Parkinson's, but we are really, I think, in this fight together. And there's so much literature out there and articles from major media like CBS, which I can't get back or recall a call back, but people like him are leading the way to bring awareness for Parkinson's. And I just recommend everyone to, reach out to them, support them, and we do. So I don't know if you have any kind of, maybe you could talk about, I do remember Kirk Gibson because when I was younger, I was a fan. Today I'm more into again basketball, and but I do remember him playing his years, but not as big of a background as you can give. So maybe you could talk a little bit about, Mr. Gibson and his athletics baseball career.
certainly can. And I will tell you that Kirk Gibson and I have a love-hate relationship because for years as a Met fan, I hated him because all I would watch is him terrorizing my Mets with big hit after big hit. But from a love standpoint, how could you not love this guy? I mean, if you follow him now, even if you're somebody who suffers with Parkinson's or even as a baseball player, his nickname was Gibby. I mean, this guy was an NL MVP. He was a World Series champion 2 times. He was a warrior, and I had a chance to get a nice video from one of his teammates, Mike Devereaux, and maybe I'll try and pipe it in here during the editing process.
Story about Gibby. My rookie year, 1988, in spring training in Vero Beach, Dodger Town. First of all, you understand Gibby. He's a great dude. Jokes around, but when it comes to the game of baseball, he's nothing but serious. Anyway, one of the guys, and I'm not going to say who, happened to put some shoe polish under his hat. So when he put his hat on, he took it off. There's this black line across his face. And after the after the national anthem, he took his hat off, and everybody was laughing at him. And needless to say, Gibby was not happy. And if you know Dodger Town, there's like a long walk between the field and the clubhouse. Anyway, Gibby stopped the game, or he left the game, and screamed on everybody and said, "Whoever did that, meet him in the clubhouse right now." Needless to say, I put a note to myself: whatever you do, do not go in that clubhouse. But anyway, it was funny. But anyway,
But I mean, this man in the '88 World Series was in the dugout, couldn't even walk. I forget if I think it was a knee injury or a foot injury. Couldn't even walk to the plate. And in one of the most courageous at bats I've ever seen in my life, with one hand hits the ball out of the ballpark to win a World Series game. It's one of the most memorable home runs you'll ever see in your life. And to the common person, it's just a home run. But to people with Parkinson's, this is the kind of warrior that I want on my side for sure. He was a warrior as a player. He's a warrior now, doing all he does to advocate for this disease, and it gives people like me hope for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. And, here you can follow them on Instagram, also X, Facebook, and also LinkedIn. So you can see I'm already following, but we need everyone involved, and hopefully, I know Cam, there's Cam, he's amazing, and he was an honor to have him on the show. I'm going to send this show to him, so hopefully he enjoys it, but maybe we can have him and his father on someday, and it would be just great. I explained Cam, and he'll laugh, but what Cameo is, because tell him his father should get on, but then he said his dad isn't into the technology, and he said forget about it. So anyway, we move forward. And then another legend who is also battling Parkinson's, unfortunately, is Mr. Dave Parker, and I believe his nickname was Cobra. And Tim will talk more about him, but they also have a page now. They're out there. I'm trying to get them also on the show. They're not as active, I believe. And I think if we all join together as a community, then the world will be aware of all that they do. But you can see here, if you go to Dave Parker 39 foundation.com, you can click around, see his legacy and all that he does. I know a few months ago he was battling it and he was having a tough time. I'm not sure how he's doing. He's more of a private person, which again, we love both public and private, but I would love, and I'm sure Tim, the opportunity to, bring him on so we can help gain more donations and support his foundation. So maybe you could touch a little bit about, the Cobra, because again, I think you're more aware than I am on this.
Cobra was an elite player. I mean, one of those guys in the 80s that just terrorized every baseball team he ever played against. They actually nicknamed him the Cobra because of his tenacity and how quick he was, and how he would kind of like wiggle and shake his bat when he got up to the batter's box. But I mean, you're talking about a 7-time All-Star, a 2-time World Series champion, a Gold Glove, Silver Slugger awards. I mean, he's in the Pirate Hall of Fame, the Reds Hall of Fame. Again, one of these guys that did it the right way on the field when he was a player, obviously with his foundation doing it the right way, post-career trying to advocate for this disease. And again, these are the kind of teammates, somebody like myself who has Parkinson's, these are the kind of teammates that you want on your side for sure.
And this, again, it's not just about raising awareness, but it's really using individuals, celebrity and their background, because maybe they're retired now, but they still can reach so many. And we need everybody in this fight, whether you have Parkinson's, whether you don't, whether you're family, caregiver, caretaker, care partner. I say them all because everybody says some different one for some reason. And then also the Parkinson's community, who we love, and both of us, I hope, are members. Not if you only have Parkinson's, but also if you have loved ones struggling today, or a memory of those who aren't here with us any longer. And so you could see incredible background. This is back in 2014, but they do reach so many people. And I think, again, there's so many people, and here's some beautiful footage, that are not aware of Parkinson's. And I think that these great individuals could help us tremendously bring more awareness. And why not work together? I always wonder that. There's, again, no goal except the same one in this fight. And it's the one beautiful thing, in a sad way, that the Parkinson's community, if you have Parkinson's or an advocate, we all want the same thing. So not any competition, and it's simple. It's almost like sometimes I wonder how I have to say that, but that's the truth. So again, so many great individuals out there, so many heroes, loved ones, and all of you too, our favorite people of the world, our sports fans out there of the All-Star PD Sports cast. So today, again, we concentrate a lot on baseball. I want to throw it again to my co-host, Tim, to kind of wrap up for us. I do also want to wish everyone a happy holidays for every holiday out there, and especially a happy new year. And we'll reconvene, and I believe we'll be touching on which sport we agree, hockey next, and then we hope maybe boxing. But I have a feeling this show will last forever, because there's so many. There's a lot of sports, everyone, and even if we miss one, we will cover them all. So, I mean, we're going to get to like 2028 and be starting we'll have to look at the list of the Olympics. And what's that one Olympic where they kind of hold the ball and they spin around 100 times to throw it? We're going to be.
I can't even keep track anymore with these crazy sports, but it'll give us something to talk about for a long time for sure, until we find a cure.
Yeah, I agree. And also, there's never too much awareness, even if we're up 24/7 doing this, because it's, we can't stop. I always say, as Tim knows, Parkinson doesn't take a break, so why should we?
100%. Just talking about baseball, George, the good, the bad, the past, the future. And one of the things that I kind of touch upon a lot on my site is how, I say that things are broken all the time. It's how you deal with it, how you fix it. Baseball is one of those beautiful sports where it's constantly improving. but like you bring up a good point before. You talk about autograph shows and meeting a lot of these, the Mickey Mantles of the world and the Joe DiMaggios. People don't realize these are some of the greatest players that have ever stepped into a batter's box, and they made more money signing their name in their 60s and 70s than they ever did playing baseball. These guys today, today you have a guy like Juan Soto, and I'm a Mets fan. They're talking about these guys making $700 million for 10 years contract. I find that absolutely amazing, but you talk about a broken system. And again, I don't know how everybody feels about this, but, like the Baseball Hall of Fame, you have a guy like Pete Rose, who has more hits than anybody who ever put a bat on his shoulder, 4,256. And God bless him, he just passed away, but he's not in the Hall of Fame, because they said he was a gambler. He was betting for his team to win. Listen, I think every manager should bet on his team to win. I think that's how they should get paid. That to entice managers to, how in the world you don't have a man who has more hits than anybody who walked into a batter's box and not in what's called your Hall of Fame? I think that's a broken system, and I definitely hope that they honor him now for sure. But listen, that's part of the beauty of baseball. It's part of the memories you have, the water cooler conversations about the Pete Roses of the world and, the $700 million contracts of the Juan Sotos of the world. That's part of what makes this game great and part of why I love it for sure.
I can't believe he passed. That's why the show's so important for updates on sports. We didn't get a lot today, but go to the Major League Baseball website and definitely, support them too. We did reach out. Let me just share as I wrap up, but let me see, how come it's not, it's important to also, support these leagues because they can bring a lot of awareness, but we reached out to them. I hope someday we will be able to get them or a representative from the Major League Baseball. And right now, I got the Major League Baseball website. Give me one. I don't know how maybe they're having their own issue, but their website.
They're obviously not as good as us on the fly.
Yeah, right. Well, their website, unfortunately, and it's on my internet. So
we can't help that. That's on MLB.
I was shocked to know that he passed because, ironically, in South Florida, when I was a child, he had a restaurant in Boca Raton, Florida, and it was for many, many decades. And we ate there. We played everything, video game. We used to love it. And he was there. His brother ran it. I remember they looked identical. And I asked for an autograph. So it's sad news now. I don't know how to continue on. We'll have to have a moment of silence for him after, but very sad news. It's like you said, it was a legend. And, today everybody does forgive so many people for so many things.
Exactly.
I think they can still, let him have a place there even after, passing, especially for his family and if he has children and his future kids. But again, this is Major League Baseball. Hopefully, as an attorney, this is for educational purposes only. But we would love to have a rep on someday.
And you know what the crazy part is, George, too? You talk about broken systems. Listen, they have guys in the Baseball Hall of Fame that are like steroid abusers. And listen, I don't even begrudge them because as somebody who played baseball, not at that level, I don't care how many steroids you take. It still takes a hell of a lot of athleticism to hit a ball coming at you that starts at your eyes and drops at your knees. That's a curveball or a breaking ball that's coming at you 93 miles an hour. You have to have great hand-eye coordination to hit that ball over the wall. So I don't even care about the guys that are on steroids, but it's such a shame a guy like Pete Rose who did things the right way, aside from the betting part, which again, he's gambling for his team to win. And the sad part is that he'll probably at some point they'll get it right, but he's not around to see it, and that's a shame.
As Tim's attorney, I do want to make a statement. Anything Tim says is not, he's just saying it for educational purpose and doesn't completely say what he's meaning with the steroids. So we don't condone that. And,
nor do we condone gambling.
Yeah, we don't condone, but although it's legal now in certain states, so there you can.
That's why we keep you around on the show. Again, on the fly, George. I love it.
And we don't get paid for this, so we don't want to get sued because if you do, you won't get a penny because there's nothing being made. Yeah. Someday, you never know. So
keep me out of trouble, brother.
And I'm going to leave that for the wrestling episode because we do bring that up with Mr. Vince McMahon, who I met, and Hulk Hogan, who I have a picture with. So big fans of them, but that's for the next show. So just want to, again, wish everyone some beautiful time with their family this holiday season. And Tim and I won't rest. We won't stop. We'll still be advocating. We're just going to have the show. We'll be preparing for January, and it'll be a little hold. We try to do one a month, sometimes been two. If you have a guest out there, the sports athlete, or you yourself, and would like to come on the show, feel free to reach out to Tim at MYPDPARTY on Instagram, or you can find me, Sharon Son George, at togetherforsharon.com. But we're always kind of thinking, planning. Just today, this background, again, I find myself staring at it more than myself. I love it. And one last story is it's funny because if you look up there, I don't know how Tim did it, but when my wife and I were dating, I decided I want to surprise her, and I actually had paid a fee to the Marlins and up there, and I was so excited because we were still, young love. Now it's like 13 years later, still young, well, old love now for me, but. And I had it splash. I showed our picture and said, "I love you," and all this. And the funniest thing is, it was so complicated because it was only like a few seconds, literally, and it was very
Yeah.
expensive. But I had to figure out how to tell her to look there without giving it away. And thankfully, for the last second, she saw it. She was really like blushing, and they sent a
Uh,
picture of it after, which was beautiful. I have somewhere, but that was like a really great moment, and it was in a baseball moment. It's a moment I'll never forget. And through the photos and memories, we can remember. But I never played a lot of baseball. I always was worried I'm going to get hit with the ball again. I was more, if I get hit with a basketball, it's not 90. I broke a nose, but not my fault. So, but I'm glad we got to cover another beautiful pastime.
Absolutely.
And if we had the copyright and well, we could just do it. We'll sing together. Take me out the bogey. I got
I don't get sued. No copyright infringements.
Yeah, no, you're allowed to get the sing. We should have done the national anthem. That's another one. I have a friend who's a famous singer for the anthem around the world. She might come on the show someday, but
We're gonna have everybody on, my man.
really need to figure out sound effects. I tried and it didn't work. Maybe your technology can figure it out.
Figure out a way to add
Get
them in.
out of Yeah, I would love to have some baseball noises flying by and a crack of the bat. So anyway, well, I don't know if you have any last minute holiday wishes for everyone, Tim.
Yeah, I certainly do. And the one thing I do want to say, and I'll be very brief here. We talked off the air about some of the most iconic baseball quotes of all time. I'm just going to give you a couple of quick movie quotes because it's like water cooler type stuff. The top 5 quotes for me that come out of movies. Obviously, if you build it, they will come. Field of Dreams. There's no crying in baseball. League of Their Own.
Tom Hanks.
You're killing me, Smalls. Sandlot.
Mhm.
How could you not be romantic about baseball? Moneyball with Brad Pitt. The one that always gets me, somebody cuts onions every time I watch this one scene, another Field of Dreams at the end, when his dad comes back as a ghost and he says, "Hey, Dad, you want to have a catch?" Gets me every time. I don't care how many times I've seen it. But the one thing I will end with, obviously we want to wish everybody a happy holidays for sure. But, we said last time that we wanted to try and end each podcast with a really cool quote. And, as somebody who suffers from Parkinson's and knows how difficult it can be, and as a caregiver for sure, George, you've seen that part of it too. I found a famous quote from Babe Ruth of all people, and it is, "Never allow fear of striking out to keep you from playing the game." So basically what he's saying is, it's like Wayne Gretzky. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Get out there, advocate, fight until you can't fight anymore. There's nothing to go wrong, but you got to be in it to win it, Keep
Well,
up.
I love it. And I don't think there's a better way to end this first season of this show, which has been an honor to be with you. We started kind of late because we just got the idea. I've been thinking about it for years, but just didn't have the right co-host. And there's no one more incredible than the gentleman on the virtual right side and in the front of me on the regular world
Well,
side.
the feelings are mutual, brother, for sure.
Well, we thank everyone too for supporting us. I do feel this is going to grow, and it's only because of all of you. I mean, this is unique. I always tell everyone if I'm wrong, challenging you, write me, but I don't see anything like this in the world. And
I agree.
I think it's so needed, but if we don't get all of our amazing followers, listeners to share it, then there's people out there who might not be aware that you can really
Right.
lower the progression of Parkinson through various sports, not just one. If somebody likes baseball, go play. If you like basketball, keep fighting. If you like hockey, be careful. You might slow the progression, but you don't want to lose your teeth. So
Yeah, make sure you can skate first.
yeah, wait till we talk about hockey because my father was the doctor for the Islanders and the Rangers when they won the Stanley Cup. So that's going to be a really fun episode. But again, this has really been an honor, a beautiful 2024, and I just hope for many more years. But I'd rather have a cure and we can stop. We'll still have the show, but we'll talk about just some of the craziness in the sport.
Absolutely. That'll be a much better show for sure.
Well, everyone, thanks again for listening. Please share this. Please support us because we definitely support you. This has been another episode of All Stars PD Sportscast with your co-host, me, Sharon, son George, and my brother in this fight for a cure and advocate, at MyPD Party and my co-host Tim. And this is where we really hope we accomplish our goal today. I think we did. Hope you agree. Where we discussed the world of sports. Today we talked about baseball and slowing the progression of Parkinson's disease, because that's all we want for all of you this holiday season. And even if you can, just smile for a moment and remember these times, because no disease out there will ever take the memories of loved ones or what's happening today. And that's beautiful moments together with your families. And
Absolutely.
thanks for letting us be a part of it. And we send our love and Happy New Year. Next time we see you, we'll be probably have to, I'll bring one of those blower things, and we'll start next January with some crazy noises. Noise making. So thanks
Love
again.
you guys. Happy holidays.
Thanks.